Luxury brand Givenchy's new creative director, Matthew M. Williams, is getting called out for stealing the designs of a black Bronx-based designer. And the designer is doing everything possible to spread awareness about the systematic issues rooted in the theft. I'm Mackenzie, you're watching InformOverload, and let's get into it. So creative director Matthew M. Williams just debuted his first collection with Givenchy this week, and he was almost immediately called out by Bronx-based designer Kate Tyson-Perez, accusing Williams of ripping off one of his designs, a black leather bucket hat with a zipper motif. Perez spoke to Page 6 on the matter, saying, quote, "I saw that he posted it on Instagram and saw all the comments calling it genius and what a brilliant idea. And he was responding to people, so I chimed in and said, this looks very familiar. At least you could have done a better job in the construction of my design if you weren't going to give me credit." He didn't respond, but he's been looking at my social media stories, so he's aware of what he's done. Perez launched the hardware style hat line in 2013, saying that before him, nobody was doing that aesthetic, adding, quote, "Kanye had one of the hardware pieces, Kim Kardashian had one of the pieces. I'd met with multiple people at Barney's who were interested in carrying the brand. We've been in the stratosphere for years now." His brand hardware style has since expanded to include other items like joggers, sweatshirts, jeans, jackets, in addition to the signature hats. And they're so popular that Flying Solo, which took over Karl Lagerfeld's Soho's space, is also carrying it, with Perez going on to say that his pieces have been pulled to be in shows like Emily in Paris, adding, quote, "It's not as if I'm some kid doing it in the kitchen of my apartment. As soon as we started to expand, here's this big brand coming to squash us and take all the energy out of the brand from an idea that's not their own, but is originally my own." Givenchy's post of their hat is already getting recognition from big stars like Kris Jenner. Producer Theophilus London even commented on the photo, quote, "Need this," with fire emojis. Perez then shot back at him and then copied from the original. Perez then went on to speak about the impact this whole situation has on black culture, saying, quote, "I don't care if Matthew Williams gets a pass from black culture because of his association with Kanye, Playboy Cardi, and Kid Cudi. The mere fact that he's using a design that I've developed, perfected, and promoted since 2013 is an example of the systemic oppression black and brown creatives have been dealing with in the fashion industry since forever." Then adding that at this point, his main goal is to raise awareness about what happens in the fashion industry to people of color, along with, of course, pursuing legal action. Finishing off, quote, "It's not only about me, it's for all the black artists who have had this happen to them in the past. It's not right and it's not going to be tolerated." Continuing that black creatives need real credit in the industry, especially being paid for their work, not just the bare minimum of getting invited to shows. A rep for Givenchy did not return the request for a comment. And this whole story is really unfortunate, but the rules of fashion do really favor the big players, and at this point there's legally nothing stopping large brands from almost blatantly copying other designers' work without giving them any credit or money for doing so. So I can definitely understand the frustration here, especially since he's being ripped off by such a high-end luxury brand like this. I honestly hope the word gets out and Givenchy attempts to rectify the situation with a check, but a part of me doubts that that will happen just based off what we know about the industry and how things like this usually play out. Let me know your thoughts on this one below. But before I head out, I'm going to shout out some comments from my Elon Musk video. Corporal said his son will not be the Prince of Canada, but he may be the next robot overlord. I think that's the most true thing I've ever heard. He's well on his way. And Elf Spy said, "I don't think Queen Elizabeth would be amused with this." I'm not sure if she can, take a joke or not, because I definitely think it was an obvious troll, but yeah, she probably didn't like it very much. Then Garnett said, "Isn't being hugely rich enough?" Clearly not, it should be, but clearly not. Then Kimmy said, "I feel like this is another troll that Elon is doing." I completely agree. I think half the stuff that he says is just sarcasm, and people can't always understand that when it's like written down. So yeah, I feel like he gets maybe more heat than he should for these little quips. Like, it's really not that big of a deal, but yeah, he's just a funny guy. He's a very interesting billionaire, that's for sure. Alright guys, that's all for the video today. Thanks so much for sticking around if you made it all the way here. And make sure to like and sub to the channel below if you liked and want to see some more. I've been your host, Mackenzie Smith, and I'll catch you all in the next one.